Episode 76 is finally out, and this episode was sick because we saw some crazy fighting, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that the agents were able to stand up to the Astro toilets, because I was sure it was going to be dark times for the Alliance. And even though this episode was only 3 minutes long, we got a lot of information because there were a lot of details in this episode that you may not have noticed. But anyway, I'm here to show you everything, and in this video, you will find out, what does this sign mean? And believe me, there were other signs, and I will surprise you. Who is that dude we saw at the beginning of the episode? You will also find out who this character is, as this is another reference to the game. I'll also show you the chair that was in this episode and one crazy detail related to this. And of course, we'll talk about what's coming next. Hello friends, you're on the Dattebayo channel. Subscribe to the channel and press the like button under the video to speed up the release of the next video. And let's go. And let's start with the description because Boom literally wrote Skibidi madness. And it was truly madness because we haven't seen such a large-scale battle between small agents for a long time. And this episode reminded me of episode 66, in which there were such large-scale battles, and it looks amazing. At the beginning of the episode, we see a squad of toilets, and despite the epicness of this battle, I immediately noticed this ding-dong gun. And it's funny, but still you can see that the toilets fight fiercely as if it's the last time. I also found it strange that this dude is carrying an American flag behind him, and it's quite unusual. And there are 2 reasons for that. Or maybe the flag was originally on this model since we haven't seen guns like that before. And it's obvious that this toilet squad is more combat-oriented since they have 1 billion guns on each side. Or maybe Boom is referring to the United States. Because in the past, he had videos that were related to countries or politics. And when he first started the Skibidi toilet, he did 3 episodes called America, where there were toilets in the shape of presidents. And actually, these videos make sense. But if you want to find out, you should watch these videos for yourself. But in general, the flag in this episode has something to do with politics, but that's a topic for another video. So let's move on. Then we saw that all this time the guys were trying to destroy one Astro interceptor. Although if you look at their crazy faces, I thought they were fighting against 1 million enemies. But as you can see, Astro doesn't care about these guys' missiles at all. And this proves that Astro toilets are more survivable dudes. And I mentioned this in the last video, because the Astro interceptor from episode 51 was able to survive even after the cameraman fried him. But all that was left of his fried friend was his skull. And that means that the Astro toilets are made of a stronger material that probably doesn't exist on Earth. So the scientist couldn't create a weapon like the Astro toilets because he didn't have the material, but he was able to create a glitch toilet out of garbage that looks like this dude. But maybe I'm rushing things and we'll get to that later. And even though the bro was almost falling apart from the damage, he kept laughing as if to say that regular toilets are trash compared to Astro. But the decisive damage was done by Skibidi Superman. And I'm not kidding, it's literally Superman from the old cartoons. I don't know why Boom added him, but we know Boom is a superhero fan, so it's okay. But still, I'm still amazed that Astro survived even after a direct hit in the face by Superman. But what's even more interesting is that after Superman crashed into him, we saw green sparks. And these are the same sparks that were on Titan Cameraman's body when the Astro toilets attacked the Titans. And is it possible that a secret agent helped the toilets and sent this Superman to save the day? Honestly, it sounds wild and funny, but drop your theories about that in the comments. But suddenly one of the Astro destructors showed up and said, "How dare you resist, traitor scum?" And it was pretty rude to hear him say that, but listen for yourself. And it's insane how Bro was able to destroy the whole squad with just one attack, and now I'm starting to understand why Boom called these guys skibidi destructors. And after that, the cameraman began to run away. But for a second, we saw something wild. But I better not comment on it, and the main thing is that the dude was comfortable. And while the POV cameraman tried to take cover somewhere, he met a poor toilet that was like going through hell. And that's literally true because those freaking Astro toilets are like the horsemen of the apocalypse, and their weapons are crazy. And you can even see the bro shaking with fear. And when cameraman pointed his guns at him, I felt sorry for him. But even though cameraman didn't kill him, he was killed by another lightning-fast Astro. And notice right away that this dude looks a lot like a glitch toilet. I would even say it's a glitch toilet, but it's the final version because they have the same metal boards in the center, and the toilets are very similar. And after I saw this dude, I knew right away that Skibidi Scientist was definitely an Astro toilet. And now Dafuk is trying to tell us that. And he's making the story so that we go back to the early episodes because they're important again. And he specifically created this dude in the design of the glitch toilet so that we realize that Skibidi Scientist was an Astro toilet. And he was trying to turn regular toilets into Astro toilets. But he didn't have the materials to do it, so he used what he had. But because of failed experiments, the first glitch toilet was far from ideal. And so the scientist didn't create more such toilets. Honestly, now all the puzzles are beginning to come together. And I think that very soon we will know the whole truth about it. Bro is also protected by a helmet similar to the one that was on G-Man when he fought against the Astro Commander. which says that the scientist was trying to recreate Astro technology. But this dude thought too long, and because of this, he was literally run over. And on the horizon appeared a huge skibidi uncle, and one of the agents, out of fear, shot him in the face. But suddenly another cameraman came out from his toilet, who signaled that this toilet is an ally. By the way, pay attention to the shirt of this cameraman. Initially, it may seem red, but I think that this is the same POV cameraman from episode 75, who was wearing a yellow shirt. And his shirt changed color because it is wet from the rain. But maybe I have problems with the definition of color, so write what you see. And by the way, about this big guy, this is a reference to the character Avery Johnson from the game Halo. By the way, Mommy Mutant is also a character Marine from this very game. And it is quite interesting. And maybe in the future we will see even more characters from Halo, but time will tell. And then the dude just went off to destroy other enemies. And of course the cameraman didn't realize what happened, but there was no time for that as the battle continues. But now pay close attention to this frame, as it's the most important moment in the episode. We see several white toilets on the road and several cameramen running from the hotspot. But notice this dude. Why is Bro in a wheelchair? How the hell did he get here? And if you think about it logically, it's impossible that he was sent here to fight. And I also doubt there are engineers and scientists out there who fixed him up and put him in that wheelchair. But maybe it's just another reference I don't understand. But the best part is going to happen in a second, and pay attention to this. The freaking chair just swivels on its own, and it's insane. Honestly, I have no idea what it is. The chair lore is so deep I can't even imagine it. But there is no way that the chair can turn by itself. And I suppose that maybe someone invisible is sitting on it, because otherwise it is simply unexplainable. Of course, I will try to find out something about this chair in the next video, but for now I am powerless, so write your theories in the comments. Another Astro glitch started destroying all agents and toilets, and POV treated him with his projectile. But Bro didn't show any reaction but paid attention to cameraman, and the epic battle started. And the most interesting thing is that even though Astro was covered by his helmet, but still he was affected by the paralyzing ray which immobilized him. And I am pleasantly surprised that Alliance technology has an effect even on Astro toilets, which means that nothing is lost and the Alliance can still win. And when the cameraman took off his helmet and stabbed him in the head, we saw something interesting because he has a circle tattoo on his head, which I will tell you about in a minute. And cameraman made the wise decision to take away Astro's gun. And this gun is truly from another planet because it looks very high-tech. But by some miracle, crazy dude with a stabbing knife in his head managed to get up, and the dude hit the cameraman at crazy speed. And finally, we could clearly see his sign on his forehead in the form of a crossed-out triangle, and many are wondering what it means. And in fact, these two signs have the same meaning, and that is Earth. Honestly, I don't know why Earth, because it could mean absolutely anything. It could mean a special rank that this kind of Astro toilets have, or it could mean that these troops are made to fight on Earth, or it could mean some element like in the Avatar. But from what we have seen, it is most likely the lowest ranked toilets, and perhaps the Earth sign indicates this rank. At the moment, we have not seen similar signs in other Astro toilets, so it is difficult to say. But to be honest, I have not tried to find out what it means. So in the new video, I promise to dive deeper and find out what it could mean. After Astro knocked cameraman down, he approached him and said in a creepy low voice, "Time to die." And I suspect that this dude was voiced by Mr. Defook himself because he has a similar voice, and maybe he voiced a lot of characters that we don't even know about. Because Bro is good at voicing.
Don't cry tonight.
Who's a fucking door, blast?
But instead of killing the cameraman, the dude yaps and loses his head. And we finally get to see the boss trying to save the day, and listen to their powerful handshake. The guys finally found each other. But it was obvious that it wasn't over because the toilets started showing up one by one. And the cameraman had to activate his cheater shield that he stole from the Titan cameraman, because it's literally the same shield that was in the Titan cameraman. And because it's too big for the little cameraman, they came up with the idea of putting it on the ground. And I'm so glad that finally the agents started thinking with their heads, because for most of the series, the cool technology was only in the Titans, and the regular agents were too weak and died with one shot. But now with each episode, the agents have cooler technology that allows them to fight on equal footing even against Astro toilets, and it's amazing. And I've been waiting for this moment for the whole series. But unfortunately, a bigger guy appeared and managed to break through the shield with a powerful energy ball from his core. And note that he's just like the other toilets but bigger and has mechanical paws and a core. And maybe he's the commander of this particular kind of toilet. And it's funny to see the Astro toilets smiling as they think they've won. But behind them came the real grand boss. It's our favorite camera spider who still survived after a tough battle in episode 72. Honestly, I thought we lost him. And I'm so glad he's back, and the bro literally tore those noobs apart in a couple seconds, and it's crazy. And after he wiped out almost everyone, there was their leader who was literally shaking with fear, because he couldn't imagine that the agents would be able to stand up to them because they thought it would be an easy mission. But I guess now they won't underestimate their opponents. And at the end of the episode, we saw that he was controlled by the same cameraman scientist from episode 72, but that's the end of the episode. And this episode was really sick because it had a lot of details, and I already have a lot of cool theories that you will learn in the new video. Now, the agents were able to win, and I also noticed that they are collecting Astro technology and are already preparing for the final battle. In the second part, I think we will see the continuation of the 75 episode. And episode 77 will be one of the legendary and the craziest of all time. But of course, more details about everything in the next video.